Escape from Tarkov is an inherently beautiful game in more ways than one, with individual raids being as unique as each of its players' fingerprints and oftentimes as rewarding as they are frustrating. No two raids will ever play out in the exact same way, no matter how hard you try. And with the end looming as we head into the later portion of this current wipe, oftentimes you'll find general player count drops off around this point because most people tend to get bored. But I'm not most people. You see, I'm in it for the long haul, and BSG decided to add something new with this current wipe. Beyond the addition of higher-level tasks that help to break up the monotony that can be Tarkov's endgame, they added daily and weekly tasks. Now, these tasks can range from simple fetch quests all the way up to surviving in a certain map dozens of times. From the utmost mundane to the completely ridiculous, these tasks offer a fresh way to look at raids and Tarkov in general. Sometimes a task comes along that checks both these boxes in just the right way. And that's where today's journey comes in. Elvira had decided that she was going to task me with finding 5 bottles of bleach and 10 bars of soap, for which she would reward me handsomely. Now the bleach was easy, as I always keep a few bottles lying around my hideout for those particularly tough days in Tarkov. But the soap, now that was going to be a tall order. Having surrendered my only bar from my own personal collection, time was now against me on finding the other 9. Not one to be mistaken as timorous, I quickly put together a plan and picked the best place from my own personal experience for finding these sorts of random odds and ends: woods. I figured I'd focus on 3 main points of interest: the USEC camp behind the mountains for its numerous crates of loot, the main lumberyard for its 3 cabins and plethora of random crates and boxes, and of course, the USEC FOB on the eastern edge of the lake for its ability to turn up everything from bandages to bitcoins. Determined to prove to this medical matriarch that I wasn't cut from a pusillanimous cloth, I geared up and prepared to go into that wooded hellscape with my sights set firmly on an item that all gamers seem to have a natural aversion to. I would have to be fastidious and remain tenacious if I was ever going to find the remaining bars that I needed. As my buddy and I loaded into the initial raid on this journey for the Forbidden Gamer item, I went in with cautious optimism. Hey. Literally the best, bro. Optobble the bobble scope? None of them? There's a set backpack over here. Nice. I love finding those with no loot in them. After sifting through the mountain USEC stash and coming up empty-handed, we decided to push towards the sound of gunfire coming from the direction of the USEC FOB. I'm in here, at red. Mary. Dead PMC here. Nice! It's me!
Oh, sorry.
You're good, you're good. Good fucking kill, though. Good kill. After finding the source of all that ruckus and taking care of it, I patched myself up from some unfortunate crossfire and continued my search. We had a soap, bro. We had a soap! We gotta go, Zulu. We gotta go. Hold on. Let me loot through the rest of this boy, and then we'll get out of here. Eager to finish this raid on a positive note, we boogied to the nearest extract with our spoils in hand and got ready to do it all over again. Good shit. Shade, goddamn. After spawning near the village and once again turning up nothing from our initial destination, we followed an airdrop over to the FOB, hoping to turn our luck around and find a little bit of action to spice up our otherwise quiet raid. Unfortunately, we were too slow. So, made our way over to the lumberyard in search of those fragrant bars of goodness. Finding only a group of pissed off and otherwise unhygienic locals, we dispatched them quickly and set off to the extract to reset and hopefully turn our luck around.
What? Not me.
Now, I'm not a superstitious man, but coming up soapless in that last raid definitely changed our luck for the rest of the night. Spawning over by the scav house, we took a moment to do a little parkour and then made a beeline to the lumberyard. Seeming like another quiet raid, we decided to loot and push around the northern side of the yard to make our way over to the FOB. But remember what I said about not being superstitious.
Oh no!
Yep. Yep. This is bad. I'm not pre-meted. Yep. Ooh. Yep. Hold on.
I'm gonna die. Ooh. I'm gonna go for a wrap here. Just give me 1 second. Can I put my arm back on? Maybe down there. Yeah, they definitely dip. That's unfortunate.
Demoralized after the bush bandits had gotten my buddy, we decided we'd give it one more shot before we both had to call it quits for the night.
Give me 1 second, I'll look for some soap. Then I'll come fuck with you. Oh, I just fucking found soap and toothpaste. It's incredible.
With it being our last raid for that night, finding that soap after the sour raid we had just had, we decided to head towards the nearest extract and just leave.
I got shot up there, that's so funny. Yeah, there's a little blood spot. Uh-oh.
And as the car left, I bid my buddy a fond farewell and decided to turn in for the night, hoping to wake up in the morning with a refreshed sense of smell towards where these damn bars could be.
The next day.
Huh. Let's try that again. Well, I'm clearly gonna need some help here. And, you know, I can't think of a better, more qualified person to help me look for these bars of soap than a homegrown resident from here in Tarkov themselves. My scav. Now, I know what you may be thinking, but look at him. This man is oozing with confidence, bristling with knowledge. Inside that thick skull of his is the very information I seek to make Mommy Therapist happy. I figure if he can help me out, then we both come out on top. And who doesn't like coming out on top with Therapist? Going in now on his inaugural run with something to prove, my scav quickly made his way over to the FOB and wiggled inside. Realizing he was surrounded by his own kind only bolstered the feeling that things were going to start turning around for
Oh,
us.
Scab just scared the hell out of me. There's one.
Ha! I knew it.
Baby.
Things were already starting to look up in this partnership,
Alright.
but not wanting to put the scab before the hideout, I continued on my search. And not moments later did I meet a fellow scav also tasked with finding additional bathroom sundries.
Yeah, dude. Okay, I'm the same, except toilet paper. Do you have any toilet paper?
There's like 3 over at the FOB. I passed them up. There's like 1 at the porta potty and 2 in the back tents. If you can make it, brother, run.
All right, man. Thank you.
Of course, have a good day. And that's what we call gaming. Well, our scav had proved himself. And coming off of that good vibe of a raid, I decided to let the professionals handle it for a little while so I could have some me time and finally catch up on my stories. Oh, damn. Oh. What are you doing? Mother of God, my prayers. Now we live. It smells so good. The soap.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I appreciate it, man.
О, пиздарики на воздушном шарике.
Mother of God. We go. Raid after raid, bar of soap after bar of soap. This couldn't be turning out any better. And as my last scav brought me the penultimate bar, it dawned on me. This last bar needs to mean something. My scavs did me well, and now I had to show them why they agreed to help me in the first place. I grabbed my favorite sniper rifle, and I moseyed my way on over to woods. Spawning near the FOB, I quickly made my way to a good vantage point where I could overlook everything. I didn't want to go in too recklessly. My reputation to a bunch of scavs was on the line after all. Atop my perch, I took note of a scav that I would use as a sort of alarm system in case any stinky PMCs came this way looking to abscond with my soap. Bingo. After dispatching 2 potential soap stealers, I sat quietly and listened in case there were more, and took note of a couple scavs that were trying to move in on my kills and potentially take more from me.
Bing! Bang!
After eliminating any additional threats to my acquisition of soap, I finally made my way in the FOB to look for myself. As the precious minutes in this raid ticked by and I continued to come up empty-handed, I began wondering if this was all for nothing. Approaching the last remaining bag, I reached out my hand not only for soap, but for the Tarkov gods to take it and pull me into the sweet crest that is quest completion. God. Let's go! Finally, the last bar was in my grubby little unwashed hands, and feeling the excitement bubbling up through me, I decided to help myself to the rest of the camp before I left. Perhaps helping myself a little too much, I lost track of time. Realizing my mistake, I took action. After hopping myself up on plenty of drugs, I made my way to the nearest safe extract. Springing into action, I knew where I had to go. The car at the end of the bridge near the village would be my safest bet by far. But time was ticking away and I had a long ways to go. Noticing that the car extract had gone from white to green alerted me to the presence of another PMC looking to steal my extract right out from under me. But I wasn't about to let that happen. As I made my way into the grassy corner to get a look at the car, I steeled myself for what was about to happen. I couldn't let nerves or my overwhelming stench distract me from the shot I was about to take. I would only get one chance at this, so I had to make it count. Scavs to my right, unknown shrubbery to my left. My focus was dead ahead as I listened for my enemy to make his move. As I secured the car and poured over my enemy's loot, I took solace in the fact that if it wasn't him, it would have been me. Tarkov is a dog-eat-dog world after all, where no gear or items are really ever yours. You're just borrowing them until it's someone else's turn. Just like Therapist was borrowing me, tomorrow, it could be you. But having completed this journey of hygienic hijinks after several days of blood, scavs, and tears, I couldn't help but be hopeful for my future in Tarkov and what sort of adventures lay ahead of me. I wish you all the best, escapers. Good luck.
Drink by the pint, drove by the pine, headed to the